I gotta preface this too. Like I haven't done this topic since like September, so.
All right, that's fine. It should be around like 140.
And I think in the event that there's not something he reacts to, I could still draw a connection, regardless of the fact. But we'll get into that if there's nothing here.
Okay.
So you're blocking Samehada, Genjutsu. So he like rips his shoulder.
Yeah, Samehada, he like pulls Samehada back while they're clashing. Like it comes from behind Asuma, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how you would interpret that because I wouldn't really want to use this.
I wouldn't think that implies relativity, but if it's only Asuma reacting to an attack from Asuma, or not Asuma, from Kisame, that wouldn't imply relativity.
Yeah. So he like dodges an attack from Asuma, but the chakra on the blade like cuts his cheek. But I still think that would serve as a speed skill.
Why? If it comes from behind him.
No, this is I'm talking about Asuma attacks Kisame and then Kisame dodges it, but the chakra on the blade kind of snips his cheek.
Hold on, let me go to it. It is 140, right?
Yeah, it's 141.
All right. Yeah, so
I'll just send the full page just to avoid any. Oh, can I see the full context? Right? Text scans is at the bottom.
Yeah, this spot I don't really like imply. I don't think it implied relativity from Kisame blocking or dodging one attack.
Why is that?
I don't see why that shows relativity.
So he can perceive the speed that Asuma moves.
Yeah, he can dodge one. Yeah, he can perceive Asuma. That's fine.
Right. So in regards to the speed that Asuma operates at, Kisame can avoid it.
On one occasion, that's not a consistency. So I don't think it show that they are relative. Asuma is consistently doing it, so it would show him being relative to Kisame. Kisame does it one time.
I don't think he needs to do it more than once to
It
argue.
wouldn't imply. It wouldn't be consistent though. You wouldn't have a consistency
You mean?
to say that they are consistently relative.
I don't think it needs one.
Okay, I don't think they're relative.
Okay, well,
I think Asuma just keeps up with Kisame.
Yeah, he can keep up with Kisame. That's fine.
Okay.
Right. So all I'm saying is he can just avoid this speed.
I don't think you can show that he can consistently do that.
Why would I need to?
Because we know in fight, even in fights, like there are occasions where somebody can dodge one attack and not the other from the same opponent. I don't think dodging one attack means he can dodge the rest.
I don't know that to be true. Like I really don't. Plus, this comes after all the instances of Asuma, doing whatever feats he would have on Kisame. Like,
What does that? What does that mean?
well, I just think like if you were to try and say like these things serve as a contradiction to what you're presenting. Well, what I'm presenting comes after.
I'm not saying there's a contradiction between the two.
No, I'm saying in the event that that was something you would try to argue. Like, I don't think that would serve as a contradiction. So what we're on now is you're saying you can dodge an attack and then get tagged by that same attack afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to give an example of that because you claim there is one.
Didn't I just give you something besides that?
No.
I did, besides like saying that there are instances where you can dodge it. I just said like dodging it one time doesn't show that you can do it like any other time. But I don't really think this matters because it's just gonna be a waste of time. Even if they're relative, I don't think there's
You
any
can
way to show that he's
make
like
that claim, but it's
what?
just if there's no reasoning for that, then I wouldn't take that into consideration.
I don't think there's any reasoning to say that he could do it on a consistent basis just
Um,
because he can do this action one time.
so if Asuma does this attack, okay, and then Kisame evades it, and then Asuma does the same thing afterward, you don't necessarily
He
agree that
doesn't do the same thing. What are you talking about?
Kisame.
What are you talking about?
Right. So what you're saying is this here doesn't mean that he can do it consistently, or doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that. And then I asked you, okay, why would it need to be a consistent showing? And then you're saying, well, you can evade
Then you
this.
would have no evidence to show that he can do it more than once or that he could ever do it again.
Right. So I don't think I need to demonstrate that he can through like more feats. I just think due to the fact that he can process this speed and evade this speed in the event that the same action occurs, then he can do the same thing. Like it's kind of like say my little brother like lunges at me and then I just grab him by his head.
You know, this whole time we've been like going back and forth. Your response to the claim or your response to my counter has just been, I don't think I need
I don't
to.
need to
So
have a counter.
if that's all we have, we can move on because it's not a counter.
I don't want to try and say the term that I'm trying to apply here. Like I don't know if it's inductive or abductive. I don't remember, but um, the idea I'm trying to get at is if he can process this speed demonstrably in the event that this same action occurs, he can just do the same thing. Like that's what I'm trying to get at.
I'm saying you'd have no reason to say he can consistently do that because or if he only does it once. You're literally saying that you're arguing he can consistently do it. Then when I ask you how do you prove he can consistently do it, you say you don't need to. But
No,
then you repeat that your argument is that he can consistently do it.
the thing I just said a second ago. That's my reason.
You're
If he,
saying because he
if
can
he
react to it once, he can consistently do it.
I'm sorry, what?
You're saying because he can react to it one time, therefore he can consistently react to it.
I'm saying because he can process this speed and then act accordingly against this speed in the
That's
event that
just
the same
reacting.
act
You're just
occurs.
adding more words to it.
Huh?
You're saying he reacts, therefore he reacts this one time. Therefore, if it happens again, he should be able to do it. That's exactly what I've been repeating to you. You're just adding more words to the sentence. You're saying
Well,
because he can react to it one
you're
time.
attacking what I'm saying.
Yeah, I explained. I said, how can you prove that he can consistently do it because he only does it once? Then when I asked you to
I
prove he
think
can
I think
consistently do it like you're claiming, you say you don't need to.
yeah,
You're
I'm saying I don't
claiming
think
that he can consistently do it.
beats the consistency. I just think I can make the argument through the reasoning I presented a second ago.
Yeah,
If
why? How does
he's
that
flawed,
prove? How does reacting one time prove he can consistently do it?
yeah, we've already been over this. If you think it's flawed for some reason, okay,
I'm asking for evidence for the claim. Why is that karate consistency? When I've been asking you that, you keep saying you don't think you need to, but you're claiming he can consistently perform
I
that
don't
feat.
need to demonstrate it through feats. I don't think I need to.
Okay, why does this demonstrate that he can consistently do it anyway?
I
Why?
already gave
Because one person can do thing one time, therefore they can do it multiple.
I gave my reasoning for it.
Why? Because he reacts to it.
I think because he can process this speed.
That's circular.
How is it? I don't think
You're
circularity.
saying he reacts to it. I ask you, why does him reacting once mean he can react to it more than
I think
once? You say
circularity.
because he reacts to it. That's like your argument is circular.
I don't think
Your
circularity.
reasoning for why he can do it multiple times is because he does it this one time.
I don't think circularity is necessarily an issue.
It's not proven that there's no more evidence for the claim.
I think
You haven't
circularity
provided anything more for the claim.
it's self-justifying
Why is this? Why is it self-justified? What evidence do you have to say that it is justified at all?
because he can process that speed.
Okay, okay. So you haven't given anything that justifies the claim besides repeating yourself
If he's shown processing this speed,
on
then
one
it's
occasion.
a fact. Like that's what he can do. The
Yes, on
idea is
one
to
occasion.
do that consistently. I'm saying
Huh?
if
You're
it occurs
claiming he can
again,
do it
that's
consistently.
what would happen.
You're claiming he can do it consistently.
I think because he can do this here, if this same thing occurs, he can do that. That
So you're
same
claiming he can do it consistently.
yeah, I think if this same action occurs,
How do
it'll
you prove he can do it? How do you prove that if he does, like if this happens again, he can do it? only off of one instance.
So
You repeat because he reacted to it on this one instance. So there's no more there's no
same
evidence
action
actually
occurs.
backing the claim. Hold on. So there's no evidence backing the claim that he can do it more than once.
No,
All we have
the
is that he did it
same
once.
action occurs because we see this is what happens in response to this speed. So if this speed occurs again, this is what Kisame can do. It's just
Okay,
evade.
so it's just a circular argument with no evidence.
I
You're
don't
just
think
going to
that's
dismiss it.
necessarily an issue.
Okay, it's just
I
there's
think
no
it's
evidence given for
self-justifying.
the claim. That's the issue. It's just you repeating the claim that you've made, which I've asked you for proof for.
Yeah, because you keep asking me
Repeat the claim.
giving the same answer
I'm
because it's
saying
not.
that the answer is just you repeating the claim that you have made when I've asked you to prove it.
Yeah,
So
you
since
keep
there's no
repeating.
evidence for the claim, it's just dismissed.
This is my argument. I think it's self-justifying, and in the
Okay.
event that this action occurs again, within
Okay.
Kisame's capability, this is what he can do. That's the argument. If you
Okay.
think
Well,
that's wrong, if you think that's circular,
since
I don't think that's
since
necessarily
there's
an issue.
that, well, I think via it being fallacious and you acknowledging
I
that
don't
it's
see how it's
fallacious as an
fallacious.
issue. So
It being
you're
circular
acknowledging that it's a
doesn't necessarily mean it's
circular
fallacious.
argument.
It being circular doesn't necessarily mean it's fallacious. It could just be
Yeah,
self-justifying, which is what I'm
yeah,
arguing.
but the problem is that you don't have anything that to give base or to show that it is justified at all. So you'd be repeating
I,
again that it is justified with no evidence for it.
I have.
So you'd be continuously, yet your justification is the claim itself, which is why it's flawed.
This
You don't
speed,
have anything else
what
to
he can
uphold
do.
the claim. You have your
Speed
claim, and then I ask you for proof for it, and you
ability
give me your claim again. That's why there's a flaw in the argument.
yeah, I don't see how it's flawed.
Okay, that's fine. We can move past it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Just
do.
dismiss the claim.
I think I've given the reasoning for it. I think I've substantiated it. And if you think it's wrong, circular, fallacious, I don't think you've demonstrated that. I can agree that it's circular, but that's not necessarily fallacious.
If it falls under the definition of a hold
No,
on.
self justification isn't fallacious. It just is because it is.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you were to ask me why
Yeah,
is a banana? Well, it just is a banana.
I think that's something completely different, but
I don't
we can move on. That's something that, if that's the case, that this thing is true. Like, right, if we acknowledge that a banana is a banana, then you could say that we don't acknowledge its claim to be true. So I'm saying that in order to prove that this thing is a banana, there would be reason for that. Say this thing is a banana because it fits the shape of a banana or it has qualities of a banana. You don't have anything backing up the claim.
hear what I
So
said.
we can move on since there's no evidence for the claim. I'd just say it'd be dismissed.
Okay, you can think that, but I disagree. So we'll just
All
leave
right.
it there. And then I guess from this, I would just derive the scaling for Zabuza, and I think he'd win through his hit and miss jutsu. Like Asuma can't see through it.
Asuma can't see through it.
Yeah, and then
Wait, which version of the mist? I don't. Are you talking about the one he uses on the bridge? The one
yeah, like Kakashi's
I don't
Sharingan,
think he.
can
Yeah, I
see
don't think
through it.
he'd use that. It's
Huh?
not in character.
What? The hit and
The
miss
mist
jutsu?
that he uses on the bridge. He'd use the one that he uses in the first fight, sure, but Asuma would be able to see through that.
Wait, what are you arguing here?
It's not in character for him to use that thickened mist that he uses on the bridge.
The thickness of the mist.
It does matter because the one in the first
I don't
fight,
really.
even Naruto and Sasuke and the rest of them can see through that mist. They can't see through the one on the bridge, but that's not in character.
I don't really. I don't recall the specifics of the fight. This is just the win con that I would argue for.
Oh, I'm saying, okay, it's not in character for him to use that Wincon.
Um, I don't necessarily agree. Like it's regarded as his like special.
No, the mist is by itself. There are two different forms of it that he uses. The second one, the one that you're using as a Wincon, is not in character.
Um,
He uses a
I,
mist. He
I
uses
just
the
don't
mist
recall.
jutsu. He uses a okay. The one that Kakashi can't see through is the one on the bridge. He states he specifically uses this one to counter the Sharingan. So that means he would not use it in a regular situation. And we see the first time we see Zabuza's mist, he uses a normal one that just messes with eyesight a
Are
little
you
bit, but
fine
the rest of them
with
can
going
still
back?
see through it.
Are you fine with going back and just like looking through it? Because I just don't remember
Yeah,
anything.
okay. It's like chapter 20 or like chapter like 20, 23.
Okay.
I'll just get the statement. He says it directly.
So you're saying that this specific thing is used specifically.
he can use the mist. This specific version of it, like the anti Sharingan one, is one specifically made for Sharingan users. So it wouldn't be something that you could argue that he would use normally.
Said it was like chapter 20.
I'm getting to him right now. I think it's like 25, maybe.
Is that the second fight you're talking about, 25, or the first fight? Huh?
He doesn't use the anti Sharingan mist in the first fight. You can go back to it if you want. It's like chapter 12.
So I'm just asking like this chapter 25 is the second fight.
Yeah, that's the bridge fight where Zabuza dies and everything. I'll find the statement.
Then after this, I still have the like secondary connection I'd get for Zabuza, which is something else I'd like to mention. It's a little more concrete than this like consistency thing you were trying to argue.
Yeah, he gets like this whole monologue saying that Haku comes up with a specific counter for the Sharingan. It's chapter 26. It's like towards the end of the chapter. Um,
Yeah, I
because
found it.
one he you see it?
Um, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
Um,
he wouldn't use that. He used the mist that he sees before, and
so
this is what I was gonna say that shows Asuma should be able to see through it. One, we see that Naruto and Sasuke completely see through it, and Tazuna states here, who's like a normal person, not a shinobi, so no enhanced body at all, states that what is this fog? I can't even see my hand in front of my face. This is on the bridge, so like before, like if he's so surprised by it, that means before he was also able to see through it.
do you know what chapter the first fight is?
Like chapter 12,
Okay.
might be a little bit later. Never mind. That's the chapter starts.
Um, you said who can see Zabuza in it? Naruto?
Yeah, remember when they stop him with the shuriken, the demon shuriken?
I'm not seeing him see Zabuza.
They literally they throw a shuriken at him and free Kakashi from the trap. They had to have seen him.
Uh, that's probably past 12. I'll
Oh
see.
yeah, they don't do that in 12. I'll just give you the chapter for the start of the fight. Oh wait, no, here. Okay, Naruto like sees Zabuza and Kakashi fighting, even though it's their clones. Like Naruto sees it and calls it out. Also,
Because from what I'm seeing, Naruto
simply
specifically doesn't see Zabuza.
here. You're talking about when he like when he did, like when he's not on screen completely, or when he blitzes them.
He's
But
just
when you,
like when he's in the mist, he just can't be seen.
that's when he like actually like disappears. When they're like fighting, like because there are like times where he will like hide away in the mist, but when they're fighting or like when Zabuza's up close, you can see him. He's not consistently like that.
So what I'm trying to get at here is when he's in the mist, like traveling through it, he can't be seen.
No, I don't think that's true because at every other point after that, he can be seen, and even
So
from greater distances, he can be seen. So I'm saying that there are like specific times, or
so
maybe it's just
I'll
off
say
of activate, or maybe it's just
try
off
to
of
get
activation where he goes completely
mine
unseen.
is, and then you can get yours, and then we'll just try to differentiate between the two because everything that I'm seeing, he just doesn't see Zabuza. Like there's even an instance where Zabuza, like like hits him in the mist, and Naruto doesn't know.
His who?
Zabuza hits Naruto
Naruto. Let me see.
in
You
the
talking
mist.
about is it after chapter 12?
This is 13, I think.
Oh, let me go to it.
All right, I'll get it for you. I'll just get
Are
everything that
you talking about when he kicks him in his face?
I think so. Yeah.
That's I think he just gets blitzed. I don't think that's a like because I was like disappear like it's because of the mist. I think he gets blitzed because it doesn't make sense for him to be able to see Zabuza and everything past Zabuza, but he can't see the Zabuza getting closer to him.
Well, if he can see him consistently, which is what you're arguing for, then how would he have gotten blitzed?
No, I'm saying he can see Zabuza not when he's like dashing at him. He can see like Zabuza moving around or like when Zabuza's like behind Kakashi. I sent it. Zabuza's
Did,
behind Kakashi about to like swing his executioner blade. That's not him reacting. Zabuza like running at him.
did he dash?
No, not in the Scandals. Oh, when he kicks Naruto,
Yeah. Did he dash?
it's implied. They're like movement marks. And like again, he vanishes and he's like gets closer to Naruto. So he dashed or did something, but it still doesn't make sense for him to be able to see Kakashi and Zabuza far behind him, but the mist that's directly in front of him just randomly got sticker with absolutely no statements
Well,
for it.
yes. This is where the issue is. It's just whether or not he actually did do the thing driving.
I'm saying that yeah, I'm saying that the dash would be very like much more
No,
likely than saying that
if
the mist got thicker.
in the event that these things actually happened with Naruto, which is
What?
I'm just asking you to give
What
me.
that which thing happened? That he was seeing him before?
Yeah,
I
like
sent
in
that.
the mist, he can see Zabuza and Kakashi.
I sent it already. Oh, yeah. At the same time, here I'll tell you.
Yeah. So what I'm doing
They
is
they see here, yeah. They see like Kakashi get like kicked, and they're like all like making statements about it. So they see Zabuza and Kakashi fighting.
okay. So just give me those, and then we'll
I
differentiate.
sent it. And we also see that they saw Zabuza's water clone come up out the water. Like there's reaction marks from all
Is
of
this
them.
first bit in the mist?
Yeah. This is after he applies his mist.
Where's the mist?
There's not like you don't like usually see like the mist all around. You don't see it when they're fighting. You
Uh,
see it like the one time he activates it, and it's just like there. Like you just know that it's there.
I I don't know. I'm kind of
Or
iffy.
is that you can like look at the outline or like the background when in the bottom right scan when he kicks Kakashi, the background is like what it looks like when the mist is up. Like how you can like barely see like the trees all off in the distance and stuff. That should be like an indication of the mist. That's how it looks like when he activates it. You can
I'm
go
not
back to chapter
certain
12.
this is even present there. Like, just for me, I'm gonna go and just look at the anime just to see if it's even there because being able to see all of them clearly in that top right panel is just like really weird. That's not something I want to just agree to.
You see all of them clearly when they do like when he initiates the mist at the very start of the fight too. You also see Kakashi clearly when he activates the thicker mist on the bridge.
Yeah, like yeah, I know he uses the mist in the beginning. I just in this panel, I don't really like the fact that there's no mist there. Like they're all seen clearly.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm getting at.
Yeah, in the anime it shows the mist is still up.
You have it on you. Could you clip it and just send it over just for the sake of time, or just send a link and I'll just
Yeah, I'm
read.
looking.
Because I legitimately don't see any mist here. Like every panel I'm looking at, it's just crystal clear, showing them, where they are.
It's kind of how it looks when he first activates the mist too.
I didn't.
So, that's kind of how it looks when he activates the mist at the beginning. But in the anime, it shows that the mist is there the whole time. Like there's
In the
like a
beginning,
consistent.
mist or just like a.
When he first activates the mist, he only like goes like completely like he only like disappears completely for like that 1 second, and then we can like then the screen looks like or then the panels look like that the whole time.
Like from what I'm seeing here, whenever the mist is active, like demonstrably active, like there's no contention with it. It's all white with just like speckles, like lines of black. And then in these instances, Naruto doesn't see Zabuza.
Okay, but that then you'd be making the claim that at random with absolutely no statements from the other characters that he randomly thickened the mist in one specific area and dashed at Naruto or
I'm
that
not
hit
necessarily
Naruto.
claiming that. This is just where my contention comes from. That's why I'm trying to differentiate if the mist is even there. If it lessened, if it's even still there, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't want to
Okay,
just
um,
change according to the author wanting us to see the character.
yeah, you see, like even like hold on, I'll send it. Even like literally the page after the mist is activated, you can still very clearly see everybody. But there's like a difference to the background, not necessarily like the direct area itself. When you go in the anime, you can see that the mist was always active.
Yeah,
Like,
if you have that on you, like right
I
now,
already liked it.
okay. Am I tripping, or doesn't he have like? There's more shit to his jutsu. Like he actually like literally disappears into it rather than just activating it and like running around. He like forms a hand sign when he goes to disappear into it.
Well,
Okay, so the question I asked was, isn't there more shit to this jutsu? Like I'm asking this question because, like I said, I haven't even thought about this
isn't
topic.
there more? Isn't there more to what? I'm sorry, I can hear you.
In regards to the hidden mist jutsu, is it literally just him making a bunch of mist and running around in it, or isn't it him just disappearing into it through some sort of like fucking tunnel?
Well, in the anime, you can see he makes mist. It starts. I guess it's like thickest when he first activates it. We do see that in the anime when he first activates it. It's thickest around him, then it spreads out from him, and then when it's like you can clearly see when it spread out. So
So
if he was to spread it and then try to sneak attack Asuma would be able to see him if he got close. Like he only goes completely invisible when it's like in the act of spreading out. So once he gets closer, they would be able to see him. Like we see Kakashi's able to see Zabuza, and he's like when he gets close. So maybe it's like very thick from far away when he first activates it, but if he got close to Asuma, it wouldn't be like that, and Asuma would be able to see it.
what would you say in the event that he gets behind Asuma? Like he just goes behind him, like similar to what he did
What you
against.
say?
Because even if Kakashi like saw Zabuza through it, I mean, I think his Sharingan would play a factor in that.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that like they can all see Zabuza like consistently after. I'm saying that he only disappears when he first activates the mist because it's at its thickest when he first activates it around him, not in the surrounding area. It's like say he has like a cloud of mist condensed in one area, then it begins to spread out from
Okay,
him. When it
if
spreads
you
into the area, it's not
let's
thickly
say
obvious.
it's thickest when it first starts. Okay,
Only from where he's at. Like it doesn't hit the area instantly. It spreads from where he's at. It spreads out.
So, in the beginning, none of them can see Zabuza.
Only when he first activates it. Then I think he like
Oh,
uses that to his advantage to disappear.
to what extent does it extend outward?
It's
Because what
it's more shown. It's more shown in the anime. It spreads out. It covers the whole area.
so
Like we see when that activates it and like envelops him and it like starts like spreading from him. But then like they're still able to see the area. Like they're not like completely
point do
lost.
you think it like it reaches its maximum like extension?
But they wouldn't be able to like if Zabuza Asuma if Zabuza got close would be able to see him.
Because he kind
Because
of does the thing that I'm trying to.
because the mist is only very thick from like where Zabuza's at. I don't think it's thick when it spreads out to Asuma.
No, but
It's not.
what
It's not so thick to where they can't see their surroundings, so he'd be able to see Zabuza if he got close.
no, but
It's
it's
so.
shown here on chapter 12, like around the end. He does the thing that I'm trying to argue for. Like it's
So what?
he still can't see Zabuza,
When
and
did? Are you talking about when Naruto fights? When he kicks Naruto?
he attacks Kakashi, or like he goes to attack one of he goes in between all of them actually, and they don't know he's there, and
Yeah,
then
I'm pretty sure it's like showing he just like teleported in there.
he did what? Did you say he teleported?
I'll go to that.
Huh? Am I tripping? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we literally like don't know how he got in there. I don't think he like walks in there or anything.
I
Could have
don't
just
care
dropped.
how he got there. It's just the fact that he can do this and does this.
Okay, so there are a number of different reasons how he could have done that without like it being because of Mr. Suit. He could have just blitzed like the people there because Kakashi isn't blitzed by it. But
Well,
for
Kakashi,
Kakashi, it is possible it could be because of his Sharingan, but you can't prove that's because of the mist.
so you're saying that he could just teleport there?
No,
So
not like I didn't mean like to say actually teleported. I thought they show like in the manga. I'm pretty sure like the little like lines around him that looks like teleportation. But I'm saying either way, he's fast enough to perception blitz Team Seven and Tazuna.
right.
So you can't show that that's a and it's consistent for the mist for them to be able to see around them. I gave the Tazuna statement for that as well.
No,
Right, so I'm saying
I
that
can agree that they can see him after the fact, but that's when it's
no, I'm saying even in the even in like the second fight, Tazuna makes a note that the mist is so thick, like this advanced mist. He said is so that he's surprised that it's so thick that he can't see his hand in front of him.
no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just talking about this first fight. Here, when it's at its thickest, he's shown capable of just blitzing all of them, getting in the middle before any of them can see he's there. And then you're trying to say,
I
well,
don't know if you're just saying
I don't literally mean like some FTG shit, but within his capability, he can get in between all of them.
yeah, I don't know if you're like ignoring what I'm saying. I'm saying that him getting in between them doesn't have to be a property of the mist. Rather, he could perception blitz them. He could just ran there and they couldn't be able to keep up with it, not due to like their vision messed up because of the mist. They can't perceive Zabuza's speed, which
Right.
makes sense.
No, yeah.
And hold on, and we have the statement from Tazuna implying that the mist shouldn't be too thick for them to not be able to see Zabuza right in front of them.
When?
The statement I've repeated 4 times. I'll repeat it one more time. Tazuna is surprised on the bridge when he's using this enhanced mist. He's surprised that there is fog so thick that he can't even see his hand in front of his face, which is like literally about the distance that Zabuza's at when he quote unquote blitz or when he blitzes him.
Well, I'm not
This,
arguing for Zabuza getting in front of him or Asuma. I think he'd get behind him.
I'm saying that the mist doesn't allow that. I think that he can only get in front of them because he's perception blitzing them.
No, I'm not trying. So, what I'm saying is, this mist is so thick that they can't see him through it. And then you're saying in response, we don't know the manner in which he got in between all of them.
And they can't. I don't like giving a reason why it shouldn't have been because the mist is too thick.
Because he can see in front of his hand.
Because Tazuna is surprised when there is mist so thick that he isn't able to see in front
Right.
of his face.
So I mean, yeah, that would entail that he could see in his hand in front of him in the
Yeah, in this instance, like the same distance that Zabuza was at, so that would imply that the mist isn't that thick here.
because this is just really weird. Like you're saying that he can see in front of his hand, um, at least in the first instance. Like that's the implication we get from that second statement. Um, but here in this first fight, he doesn't see Zabuza, and then that's where you derive. Well, we don't know the manner in which he got there. I don't really care. It's just the fact that within his capability, he can do that, like in the mist. Like, unless you want to say it's just not something reliant on the mist or have any relation to it. It's just something he can do physically. I think that would be kind of silly. Like he's just not taking advantage of the mist. It's just him. Oh, I'm just gonna blitz them now. Like
Uh, you can continue now.
so what I was saying was you were using this statement from the second fight, which would imply that Tasno could see in front of his hand in the first fight, right? Um, Yet, despite that, Zabuza can still get in front of him, and then that's where you derive. Well, we don't know the manner in which he got in front of Tazuna, and it could be something.
I've given this is what I'm doing. Basically, I've given a reason that dismisses it being because the mist is too thick. Now I've given what the other likely reason would be. So there's a reason why it shouldn't be the mist, and then I've given what the other reason could be. Why since I've given a reason why it can't be the mist, this one would be more likely since it is consistent that Zob's on the perception level above them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not because of the mist, even with the hand thing.
Okay, well that just saying that like I don't know why that I don't accept this isn't really a counter unless there's a direct counter to the hand statement. It should be able to go through.
You said what?
I said just saying I don't know or that I don't accept it isn't a counter.
I don't see how this would lead to that conclusion because at least here, Zabuza's not really in Tazuna's vision. He's like underneath him, and Tazuna's looking upward.
So are you saying he hides in front of?
Here,
So then you can't. Then that wouldn't. If he
from
gets in a low point, he could have just
here.
ran under them.
Within this, he's not really in Tazuna's vision. Um, and then even if he was, like everything I'm trying to get at here is, he's not.
You
I'm
know,
not.
if you give a reason why Tazuna shouldn't be able to see him outside of just the mist being too thick, it defeats the argument that you're making. It hurts your own argument.
Well,
Because then if I go along with the fact that he's out of Tazuna's sight because he's ducking under him, you don't have a There's again not a. There's no more reason to claim that it's because the mist is too thick. He could have just been getting in their blind spot.
or if you want to try and say that Tazuna can see Zabuza when he's in front of him, not moving, like being stationary. Um,
Actually, no, they all show no they do know that Zabuza is there when he like makes his appearance.
yeah, like I'm saying, I don't really care. Um,
No, they can't see him. I'm saying that argument doesn't work because they make it known that Tazuna can see him.
no, like I don't care if they see Zabuza in front of them when he's stationary. Just what I'm getting at is when this mist is active, they don't see him within it.
Yeah, I don't think you proved that. Well, when he's close, like yeah, when he's like far away, when it's like flowing through the area, sure. I'm saying when it's like obviously when it's not doing that anymore because it doesn't do that forever. They are able to like consistently see Zabuza.
No, so you already agree that when he's traveling through the mist initially, they don't see him.
At the very start, because I said it had to stick
This is
at
what
that
I'm
part.
arguing.
Yeah, I'm saying at the very start, he wouldn't be able to get close to Asuma without Asuma being able to react.
From what angle? In front of him, beside him, or
I think he'd have enough time because Kakashi has enough time when Zabuza's like over like all the way away from him, like he's a distance away from him, about to attack. Kakashi's able to jump over, grab Zabuza, and grab him away from the kids before Zabuza can finish a swing. So even if Zabuza tried to sneak attack Asuma would be able to like get out of the way of time.
was that later
That's in that same scene.
in that? Okay,
Yeah, when he appears in the middle of everybody, he's about to like slash and kill everybody. Kakashi jumps over, grabs Zabuza, and jumps away from everybody.
So I have a few issues with this. First of all, the Sharingan to see through it, and then the angle at which he.
We don't have evidence that it's too thick for him to see.
So it's the Sharingan, and then the angle at which Zabuza is at. Like he's
I'm
in.
arguing for the speed of it. I'm not talking about that.
Well,
I'm saying that even if you say Zabuza can sneak up or Asuma still have enough time to react because he's that much faster than Zabuza.
I don't think he would.
Okay.
So, what this is derived from is like this issue I'm having with what you're talking about is the angle that Kakashi uses to react to Zabuza and do these things. It's in front of him, and I don't think Zabuza is going to go in front of Asuma to kill him.
He doesn't have to go in front of him. I'm saying like a sneak attack, Asuma would still notice that Zabuza swinging at him from behind because Kakashi's able to do the same once
No, I'm
again.
not looking for a swing.
What else does he do? He swings with his sword.
I think he like slit his throat.
With his sword?
No, with his kunai.
I don't think he does that in character.
I think he does. He didn't. Yeah, he like tried it against Kakashi.
Huh?
He like tried it against Kakashi. Like right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's his like water clone. I don't think he does that.
I mean, even if it is his water clone, like
And I think that's only like to sneak attack him. And again, that's not the most consistent way he fights, so I wouldn't be taking that.
Attack.
That's not the most consistent way he fights, so I wouldn't be taking that.
What? Yeah, okay.
That's not the most consistent way he fights. That wouldn't be his in character.
He favors something else other than this.
Huh?
You think he favors something else other than this?
He does other things other than this. I don't care if he likes it or why he does it.
You're
He
saying
slashes with his sword more consistently than he tries to slit someone's neck with a kunai or even uses his kunai at all, really.
go back for a second. What was the word you used?
Consistently?
Consistent. So this is just it's like a thing he favors in combat rather than this.
Yeah, I'm saying like favor is like something outside of like the claim, but yeah, he does do this other thing more.
I just mean this is something he does more.
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
Just using his executioner's blade. In there are literally like 2 scenes in the entire series where Zabuza uses anything other than his executioner blade. There's that one, and then the one time he stabs Kakashi's hand. Like known for his executioner's blade and his use of it. We see him consistently using it. He tries to use it at the start of the fight. He only uses it twice. He only uses the kunai twice. Therefore, we take the kunai over to every other instance he fights.
I think
it's not consistent.
This bit, I just have issues with, like internally of when Kakashi reacts to it.
What about it?
So the first instance, at least I think is the first instance because it's what I'm seeing here. Naruto tells him that he's behind Kakashi, and then with the very first scuffle they have, Zabuza's in Kakashi's vision, like in front of him. I'm not, and that's not relevant to what I'm saying. I think he'd get behind Asuma.
No, with the kick, he's still able to react.
Huh?
The kick that comes from behind, he's still able to react.
The what?
When he gets kicked from behind, he's still able to react.
Kakashi got kicked?
Yeah.
Okay, when was that?
When he gets kicked over to the water in chapter 13. There's that, and I don't think he's gonna like silently sneak him either. That's also like not in character. Even if you want to call it stupid, he doesn't. He never silently sneaks anybody. I think he's gonna talk if he gets behind Asuma anyway.
He did it right here.
What, silently sneak somebody?
Huh?
What, silently sneak somebody?
Yeah, he does it to Kakashi.
When? Are you talking about when he has the kunai to his neck?
Yeah.
No, he says, "I'm not that easy to fool." He speaks.
Yes, Kakashi didn't know he was there. I'm arguing.
Yes, I'm saying he speaks when he gets behind them before making the attack. He doesn't silently sneak them, so he wouldn't attack before speaking. And we see when he does that, Kakashi has enough time to counter. Even if we want to call it,
when Zabuza announces his presence, I'm saying
that's not. I'm not arguing for a reaction anymore. I'm saying he would give them time to react. So even if they don't react to him. Hold on. Even if they don't give him,
No,
even if they don't react to Zabuza getting there, Zabuza would still speak. It's consistent for him to speak before he attacks if he has a sneak attack.
I don't think he would for Asuma.
You can't prove that if he does it in every instance that he
So,
sneaks attack someone.
so the thing he's saying here is specifically to Kakashi. He's
Yeah.
not easy to fool, and that's derived from his Sharingan.
He does that even when he jumps in the middle of everybody else. He does that when he jumps in the middle of everybody too. He says game over, which isn't something specific to any conversation that he has with Zabuza or Kakashi. When he gets in the middle of everybody, he stands there and he says game over before he begins his attack.
To who? Naruto and everybody else?
It doesn't state who he's directed at, and there's no implication of who he's talking about specifically. He just says
that I
game
just
over.
mentioned. Would you agree that specifically to Kakashi? Like,
I don't think that defeats the fact that he would speak, but yes, it is a specific response to Kakashi.
So what I'm getting at here is he's shown doing this thing that I'm arguing.
Actually, no, Kakashi doesn't even say anything for him to say that. So no, I think that would still be something he can know. Yeah, he doesn't. Kakashi doesn't say anything for him to say that. I mean,
the fact that it's in regards to him.
Yeah, so I'm saying that since it isn't something specific between a conversation for him and Kakashi, he can just say the exact same thing when he fights Asuma.
Specific for a conversation rather than just the sequence of events.
Yeah, I'm saying that in the situation, it would come down to the same thing. He could just say the same thing to Asuma since it's not something specific to Kakashi. I'm saying you can't limit it to Kakashi.
I can though, because this sequence of events with his Sharingan lead him to say that
he doesn't do anything with his Sharingan at this point.
Huh?
He doesn't do anything with his Sharingan at this point. Yeah, you can't prove that that's because of the Sharingan. They never make a statement about that. They never make a statement regarding Kakashi seeing through the Sharingan or seeing through the mist due to a Sharingan. They never have any talk about that or say anything about it.
It's emphasized in a panel.
When?
I'll show you. I'll just send the full thing. I mean, you're already aware of the second part, but top right.
That's not because of him seeing through the mist. They had all saw Zabuza at that point, so I don't think they're specifying that, Kakashi can see through the mist because of his Sharingan if everybody else has saw through it before them.
Yeah, they can see him when he gets in front of them as stationary. But I'm saying Kakashi sees him.
That's also after he's stationary.
Huh?
That's also after he's stationary.
This is when he's moving, isn't it?
No, this is after they all react to him. The page before, they had all noticed I was there.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm saying Kakashi sees him because of the Sharingan.
But you just said that they are able to see him because he's stationary. Hold on. Everybody else is able to see him already. So then they specify, hold on, if even the basic human, non-shinobi, no chakra control, the basic human can see him. They specify Kakashi, yeah, you can see him because you have the Sharingan.
I'm saying they can see him because he's in between all of them and not.
You see the page I just sent?
He's not in the mist.
You see the page? Yeah, you see that page I just sent, right?
What? Yeah.
You look at the page I sent? So they had all already reacted to Zabuza?
When he's not in the mist.
That's where he's at when you of the scan that you sent.
Kakashi's still in the mist.
He's staring at them. He can see them.
Through the
He's
mist,
talking to,
and then runs over there.
He can see them. Wait, why is Kakashi so far in the mist where he can't see? He's literally right in front of Sasuke.
He's still in the mist and sees.
I don't even think he is. He's literally right in front of Sasuke. And when they show it, there's no mist between him and Sasuke. Yeah, I sent the scan. That's literally the page before both of these.
Calm down. If he gets me, I'll still protect you.
It's right in front. Yeah, then the page that I sent is right after that. I think the mist is like that mist that you're seeing is the distance beyond Kakashi, which is where it was spreading
Not
from.
here. I see what you're talking about
What?
here. Just the way it's portraying in this page.
You talking about the one where he says, "I
The
will
one where he
never let
says
my
game
comrades die"?
over. It's
What about it? That there's no mister?
around, and then the Sharingan is emphasized.
Yeah, I think that's for him to be able to like, or for him like being able to get there so fast. That might be the case.
And then in the page prior to that, where it shows Sasuke and everybody, Kakashi just
Or they can be emphasizing the Sharingan. I don't. There are like a couple different reasons for why they could be emphasizing Sharingan, but I don't. I think it's very unlikely that they'd be saying that because of the mist scene.
Sharingan here. What I'm getting at is the thing which made me think that he's just not there is because in this panel he's not there. Like it shows in Sasuke and Kakashi isn't present. Yeah.
When it shows when it shows around everybody. We even see it here. We see it in the earlier page I sent as well. The distance between Kakashi and Team 7. This is like an overview page of it, so it makes it even better. We see that Kakashi isn't far in front of them.
No, yeah. I see that. I'm just saying in this page, he's not there.
He's not like in like the direct area because I think they zoom in more. Obviously, Kakashi didn't run away though; he was still there. They just zoom in, so I don't think this argument matters.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I didn't know that he was even there.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
fine.
referencing this page, like skimming through it and then trying to find it, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, that's fine. But he is like saying like a few feet in front of them, and it shows that like when Sasuke's looking at him, having a conversation with him, there isn't like a thick cloud of mist or anything in front of them, cutting the distance.
So I think where it currently stands, I can agree that Asuma, like in the event that he sees Zabuza, like without the mist, then he can do the things that he needs to, like attack and defend and things of that nature. But I don't think when he's in the mist, he can't. I don't think he can when Zabuza's in the mist.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, I don't think Zabuza or like when Zabuza first uses the mist, he's gonna run up on Asuma anyways. Um, yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna run up behind Asuma, even if he does run up behind him. I don't think that's gonna mean anything because at the moment he gets behind him, he's gonna say something. I've shown that in every instance that he gets behind someone, he says something. So he's gonna say something, and Asuma has like the speed and like AP to like react and just punch him in his face. The reason he has the speed and AP is because he just stayed it relative to Kakashi, to
So,
a one that should have trained.
so would you then say like in the event that he didn't say anything and just gets behind Asuma, then that would serve as a con?
Possibly, but no, since
Well, I
since
mean,
it's not in character, it wouldn't be. I don't think there's any point in going into it.
I don't like to use that term because it's just it
It,
being
it,
possible.
it just it wouldn't be within the debate anyway because he doesn't. It's not in character.
You don't think it's in character for him to not speak when he kills someone?
Yeah, he doesn't do or not when he's like running up on someone. No,
I think him speaking to these people, I think it's because he has like a relationship with these people.
he has no relationship to anyone here.
He does because he's known Kakashi.
No, he does. He knows of Kakashi. He doesn't know Kakashi personally.
He
They've
doesn't
never met before.
like, oh, I'm your friend or whatever. I don't think he has any sort of connection to Asuma. There's no reason for him to be like, oh, hey, I'm gonna kill you now, or oh, game
They
over.
can know who Asuma is.
Uh,
Asuma is famous.
what?
So he can know of Asuma. Asuma's famous. He does have a reputation.
Um,
His reputation should actually be more famous than Kakashi's.
Asuma's is?
Yeah.
Um,
He's on like some elite shinobi team that like guards the land of fire. I forgot what it's called. But he should have a higher status than Kakashi.
so in the event that I were to scale like Zabuza above Asuma, would you then say like him being able to like let's say he did speak, okay, even with that happening, like in the event that Zabuza is just faster than Asuma, it just wouldn't matter. Like if I could demonstrate like a speed gap between them, would you then say it just doesn't matter? Would you
Asuma
agree
is
with
like stated relative to Kakashi. He can keep up.
what?
Asuma stated relative to Kakashi, who's able
Yeah,
to keep up. Zabuza does so.
yeah. I just think like from the Kisame bit that I mentioned earlier, like that's the speed scale I'm using. Um, and I think I could demonstrate a speed gap from that. One that would sort of make this, oh, I'm going to tell you game over, or whatever words he wants to say, it just wouldn't matter.
Okay. What does Kisame say exactly to Suigetsu?
I'll get it. I don't really want to call the burden of rejoinder on you because you might have an issue with this, but I did mention the scale earlier and you didn't really have
Yeah,
any.
you gave me a whole line of scaling. I attacked one part of it. You shotgunned me. I can't be expected to
I didn't
attack every part
try
at
to
once.
shotgun. I
Yeah,
just
you
think
did. What
no,
you could ask everyone here when you started. You gave me every line. You gave me all of your line of scaling at one. You didn't go point by point,
no, I introduced this bit and you just didn't
and
say anything. And then
because
I
you were
mentioned
giving your line of scaling,
this was my scale, and then we went on to okay, how's he gonna win?
you gave. Yet you said this part, and then you went to the Asuma thing. Then we were going over the hold on. Then we were going over the Asuma to Kisame thing. Then it came to
So
the mist.
it's not a shotgun. If we
Yeah, hold
transition,
on. You gave one. You gave the Suigetsu Kisame statement. You gave the Asuma Kisame link. I attacked the Asuma Kisame link first. That is a shotgun. You gave 2 points.
a shotgun.
Then from
I
that, you
introduced
gave this
the
misstatement.
first.
Huh?
I introduced the Swagetsu bit first. That's my
Yeah,
speed.
and then there was no pause between it. You gave this and then that, so you were giving a line of scaling.
Right. So that's not a shotgun.
You were giving multiple points in a line of
It's
scaling,
on
still multiple
scale.
points. That is a shotgun.
And I introduced the first one first, right? And you
And
ignored it. And then we went into the
because you were giving your scaling, you explained why this. You gave a statement. It's basically Zabuza over Suigetsu. Suigetsu for I forget why, but or no, Suigetsu to Kisame, Kisame to Asuma, and
so again,
you gave this scale. That
shotgun.
scale includes multiple
I
points.
introduced this first.
Yeah,
If I make this claim, it doesn't matter. You don't need to address it. If I don't substantiate the claim, then there's no point for me to win. Like I can make a claim, right? And if I just don't give you anything, it doesn't fucking matter. There's nothing wrong with that.
what are you talking about? You gave a lot of scaling. I don't know what we're doing right now.
So I claim a scale. Okay, what you're trying to say is a
So I'm
shotgun.
attacking different parts of the scale. Why do I have to attack the first? Why do I have to attack that part of it first? You gave a whole scale. I
I
attacked
didn't
one
say
part.
you
It's
have
still a
to.
shotgun.
It's not a shotgun.
It
I
is.
introduced
You gave a
it
scale.
first.
A scale includes multiple points.
It's not a shotgun.
You gave a
Is this
scaling. Your
even
line of
relevant?
scaling
Like,
includes
can y'all
multiple
not
points.
move
I
on?
Scale and then
don't know what you're
introduce
not understanding.
it first. That's not a shotgun.
You
Hold
still
on, hold
yes,
on.
It's not
but
an argument.
because I didn't cut you off, you
It's not even
continued.
a
You never
point.
stopped in your sentence. You didn't ask, "Are you going to attack this first?" You
It's not even a
continued.
Hold on
point.
real quick. Hold on
Can't
real
be
quick.
a
Hold on real
shotgun.
quick. Is this
You can
shit
ask
even
everybody else
relevant?
here.
Like, dead ass?
It
Is this
literally
shit
cannot
relevant?
be a shotgun. Me making a claim, that's not a shotgun. That's not an
Yeah,
argument.
because if only you made one, you didn't make
If
just
I
one.
gave some sort of basis for the things I'm presenting, that would be an argument. That would be a
You
shotgun.
you, you gave multiple points. That's why it's a
I
shotgun.
didn't make a point. I made a claim, and then I
Okay, that's
substantiated it with this.
you're not going to be semantical about nothing. That's the same
I'm
thing for that's what a point is. It's a claim. So
not
that we
saying
go over.
shotgunning you, or I did,
Okay,
or I'm
you multiple claims. I'm sorry, not points. Since you want to be like semantical and annoying about nothing, you gave
I'm not
multiple
saying we're
claims.
semantical. I'm just saying I didn't shotgun you.
Yeah, you gave multiple claims.
I'm not even trying to call rejoinder. I just literally I said I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so there's no point in even talking about this.
Fucking retarded. I didn't shotgun you.
Okay, you gave multiple claims, but it doesn't matter. If you're not going to call rejoinder, stop talking about it.
I made a
Just send it
claim,
scan.
argument.
Okay. If
What
you're
is?
not going to call rejoinder, I'm not going to keep talking about it.
I'm not rejoindering you, dude. I'm just
Okay,
saying
then just send it. We don't have to keep talking
this is
about this.
silly. I'll clip it for you, and then I'll drop the link entirely if you think there's something that I might be leaving out. Let me crop it and then I'll send it over.
I'll be right back.
Did you hear what I said? Leave again. Hopefully it even lets me send it in the first place because Discord's weird. But fucking.
Oh yeah, and be like, I don't know why that equates to like speed or strength. It's just gonna be like the use of the sword.
The context of it is just a Kenjutsu exchange.
That could be like his technique or the way he wields the sword.
So you think he's just more skillful with it?
Yeah, because it lined up with like Asuma having like blatant scaling above him, or like why Zabuza should be just blatantly below. So
No.
yes,
Okay, so this whole shit, this anime scaling, acknowledges the fact that what happened in part one happened in part one. Okay, this is just a way of arguing a separate scale in the anime. So I don't care, right? I'm not going to argue against whatever contradictory scaling would be in part one because my scaling just doesn't care about that.
why should it just be allowed to ignore part of the series? Huh?
Um, I had a post on this like last year. Like I said, I think it was like September or October. Um, and I mentioned like I don't care if this is canon, but like whatever part one shit happened, like no one who's remotely competent is going to try and argue the scale, um, and try to go against what happened in part one. Like that's just not what would happen, right? Like it's pretty fucking demonstrable. Like whatever scaling Zabuza has in part one is what he has, but in this anime scene, that's the scale you derive regardless.
I'm saying that it since there's obviously I'm not agreeing that we're just throwing out part one. Since Shippuden obviously includes the history of part one,
Right.
it could this statement could mean other things due to the knowledge that they've given us in the series already. So it could mean instead of speed and strength, it could be the way he wields the sword. Since as you said yourself, it's a Kenjutsu battle, which doesn't only include speed and strength. And that would allow for there not to be any like huge contradiction between part one and two, because it does still have to include shit that happened in part one. There has to be a reason for like a random
I know
contradiction.
I know what you're saying, and I've known this, but what I'm saying is regardless of whatever contradictory shit would be in part one. Yeah, it's in the anime. Yeah, it's in the manga. Regardless of this, this is the argument that is used. So all
Uh,
this, all this is. What should I call you, by the way? Pianist or I don't know.
yeah, I don't. The pianist is fine, but I understand what you're saying. Like you're saying, like I guess like this is just the argument that you're using with this statement. I'm saying that this statement doesn't have to include speed and strength, and using supporting evidence from what's in the series, it wouldn't be likely for it to include speed and strength either.
No, but
I'm not saying that it's dismissed or it's not canon or that you can't use the
no,
statement.
I
I'm
don't
saying
care.
we're deriving another meaning from that statement. It doesn't have to be the one that you're getting.
No, but right. So what I'm saying is, pianist, is this scale, right? This is just an argument I use because the things I'm mentioning are the things that were in the post that I made last year. Okay, so and those don't take into consideration, like, oh, there's contradictory shit in part one because I just didn't care. This was the thing that I was arguing for with this statement.
Okay.
Right. So this isn't really something that I'm going to be like, oh, um, he just held back in part one. That's fucking retarded. Like, he didn't do that. Okay. And if you want to say, well, there's contradictory shit in part one, yeah, I know. I just don't care. This is the argument that is used. Like,
I'm
that's
not
all. That's
just
all
arguing. I'm not just arguing a Zabuza is contradicted
yeah,
to
you're
defeat
saying
the
it can
argument. I'm saying that there's another that there's another meaning that comes from the statement,
yeah,
and it more so coincides with what's shown. I'm not just arguing, oh, it's contradicted.
you're
I'm
saying it
saying
can.
that the other meaning for the statement does coincide with what we see, which is like people like Asuma or Tsugetsu being above or should be above
No,
Zabuza at this point.
I know that they are right. In these things that occurred in part one, that is Zabuza's scaling. I know. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, this isn't something that is like, oh fuck, I didn't know that. I know that, but this is the argument that is used for this scale, is this statement, regardless of the fact of what happened in part one. That's all I'm trying to get at. Like, this isn't something that I can just argue with you about. Like, I know. You know what I mean?
Okay,
There's no
well then, even
point.
if I disregard the contradiction point, even though just mean the debate was really over, it still I still just give that it can mean something other than speed and strength.
Yeah, I know. You're saying it can just refer to skill.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm saying
is there a color to that?
that bit with the contradictory shit, my stance acknowledges it and just says, oh, I don't care. This is what I'm going to argue for. It's kind of like there's a post that one of the 1125 made saying like base Lee um, can scale to pain and like beat pain, but then it's shown in an anime fight that pain bodies base Lee. So it's just it just doesn't matter for that scale. It's kind of like presenting arguments just to argue for this. That's kind of the idea of what was going on. Okay.
I'm back. I got a call. What you
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, like I'm saying, my stance acknowledges the fact that there's like a plethora of contradictory shit in part one. I just don't care. Like that's what that
I'm
post
not
was.
arguing the part one stuff anymore. It said, is there a counter to it being something other than just speed and strength? I
Right. If
gauge what it could be.
you say that this scaling, the contradictory scaling, would sort of lend credence to the idea that it's just more skill based, I don't disagree.
I'm
But
not using for one more time. I'm not even using the part one stuff to support the idea anymore. I'm just saying that is there any reason that it's speed and strength rather than just skill?
yeah, so they're just different factors of a Kenjutsu exchange. There's skill, of course, um, speed, strength with your sword in Kenjutsu. Um, and I just really don't think if Zabuza was just this much slower, weaker, whatever skill he'd have would matter in regards to Kisame because he just get violated.
Yeah, I think that's what he said because that's obviously what's happening with Suigetsu too. So if he's just
Even
like very vastly above both of them, he doesn't really like it could be like this. Two, if one person is so far below me, it doesn't matter who's stronger between the two. But Kenjutsu skills, since they're both swordsmen, would matter. They're both the seven swordsmen.
no, right, but I'm saying for him to even make this comparison in relation to himself, um,
He doesn't make the comparison in relation to himself.
no, I'm talking about Suigetsu.
Oh. So I guess it doesn't make the comparison. What are you talking
Well,
about?
regardless of however I worded it, like that's what I mean. I'm talking about in relation to Suigetsu, who's relative to Kisame here. Um, there's just like I just don't think whatever skill he'd have would be capable of compared to Suigetsu um, in relation to Kisame for this scale. If he's just so much slower and weaker that they can't sort of how do I word this? Like it's kind of like comparing like a child who's like, let's say he has the movement of a turtle, but he's just so skilled in taijutsu, right? Um, like a boxer, okay. And then you have a grown man who's just not as good at boxing, but he's just a blitz tier faster and strong enough to rip his head off. You know what I mean? That just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I don't see where you're saying like it can't make sense to coach somebody on their skill or their technique, even if you're above them.
Did you say coach?
Yeah, like they're like explain their skill or technique, or like talk about their skill and technique, even if you're far above them. I
Well,
don't see what the problem with that is.
this is like his exchange with Suigetsu, like them fighting. So in the context of this Kenjutsu fight, he's not as good as Zabuza.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah, that just comes back to what we were saying before. I'm saying he cannot be as good, and it could refer to either speed or strength specifically,
If you want to
or it
say
could
like
refer to technique or the use of the sword.
let's think about this. Like in the event that Zabuza was slower, um let's say there's an idea that his skill in Kenjutsu can just like what's the word? I just
I
had
don't
it.
think that his skill is going to make him win a battle against Suigetsu. Like I agree, he can be faster. Like
No,
if
I
Suigetsu
don't
is like faster or stronger, he'd beat him up,
I don't think he
regardless of the skill.
no, I don't think he necessarily win against Suigetsu. Like Suigetsu has more shit than just Kenjutsu,
No,
right?
I'm not even saying just that. I'm saying even in a Kenjutsu battle, Suigetsu's like faster and stronger. It doesn't matter what skills Zabuza has. Like if he can blitz him, it doesn't matter.
I don't
What I'm saying
necessarily
is that Kisame's statement can reference specifically like what he's saying. He's better than him. It can reference skill.
right,
I
but
don't think it's specifically referencing who would win in a fight, but it can reference who's better out of the two users and their the use of the sword.
right, but that's not what's the word? Fuck, what's the word? That's not man, I just had it. Fuck. It's not yeah, I don't remember what the word is. It's something mutually exclusive. Like it's not just skill. Like what is skill? Capability to just move the sword around or
Different ways they use it to attack. Like like obviously Zabuza's doing more than just swinging the sword back and forth. He does do different things with the execution of the blade.
right. No, I'm just saying like the way in which you move the sword, like say your grip or your angle or whatever it is.
I don't know. I think like Zabuza at one point like puts it down on the floor and then like swings himself past it, or that might be Kakashi, but
He does what?
he like puts it down on the floor and like kicks with it or something. Like Zabuza just does different things with the sword than what Suigetsu is doing. Suigetsu just swinging.
I don't think these like other things like him standing on a sword or whatever really matter here considering
It's
this
just different ways of using the sword that Suigetsu doesn't do. So it shows that he has more skill with the sword than Suigetsu.
the things that make Kisame um, think that Suigetsu's better than Zabuza are things that aren't fancy like that. It's just him swinging and blocking the shit that
Wait,
he does.
when does he say originally that? Because I didn't see that in the clip. When does he say originally that Suigetsu was better than Zabuza?
Uh, it seems you're more proficient with the blade than that kid. And it's said in response to Suigetsu blocking Kisame's attack and then their exchanges prior.
Trying to look for it.
It's around like the 8 second mark in the clip that I sent. Not the video, but like not the blink.
Oh, yeah, okay. He catches it with the middle part of the blade. That's all.
Huh?
He catches it with the middle part of the blade. Something we haven't seen Zabuza do.
He has what?
He catches it with the middle, like in like that little like open circle part.
Blade to block an attack.
Yeah, he just catches it in a different way.
How is it different?
He
What?
catches it with the open part of the blade.
How is that? How is that skill based? That's just him reacting and
He
blocking.
uses the sword differently. If technique for if Kenjutsu technique, as we define, is just the different ways you use the sword. If he's using it different for something else,
Are
from
you
Zabuza, he's using a different technique,
are
or
you
his technique
saying?
is different.
Hold on. Are you saying that like the area which we get to block the attack is what would make him think he's more skillful than Zabuza?
He could think that he has something else because he's using the sword differently.
Like he's literally just blocking the attack. Like
Differently,
how
blocking it differently because he's
how
blocking it with a different part of the blade.
you know that?
We see that it's in the scan. There's in the anime. He blocks it with the open part of the sword.
Like I know what you're doing. You're saying it could just be in regards to the area he blocks the attack, like the way he blocked the attack. And I'm saying, well, that's just not what it says, right? And of course, this statement doesn't say, "Oh, you're faster than Zabuza or stronger than Zabuza." Of course, it doesn't say that. But you're saying the way he blocks it is different.
Is a by the definition that we've given would fall under different technique. It would fall under a technique because a technique is just the different ways you swing or utilize your sword in
Well,
combat.
the technique in Naruto is just ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu. Those
I'm
are what.
saying, like the technique that we've given for Kenjutsu that we agreed upon is just the different ways you swing and use your
When did
sword in
I agree
combat.
with that?
Huh?
Huh?
What did you say?
When did I agree with that?
You were the one that gave it
What?
that definition. You said it was the different ways that you swing your sword.
Yeah, like the way you grip it or certain angles and whatnot, like can
You
be
said swing as well.
right. Well, I don't think a swing can be really different. Like it's just a swing, but essentially what I'm
Swing it with you can swing it different ways. Either way, it still boils down to the different ways that you're utilizing your sword in combat.
but there's no sort of like different thing here. He's just
He
blocking
is.
it.
He's gripping. He's blocking with a different part of the blade.
But how is that different?
Because Zabuza doesn't block with that same part of the blade. Huh?
You know that.
From what we've seen from Zabuza, he doesn't grip. He doesn't block an attack with the open part of his blade. We've never seen
Do
him
you
do
have
that.
examples of when he does block something and it's different?
I mean, we can go to his fight. I don't think he ever blocks with the open part of his blade. If you want to go back to his fight with Kakashi,
Like I don't see how using a different area on the blade is a
it's
skill
a
based.
different way to use. Okay, we've been going like the same circle over and over again, and
Like it can be a different.
your counters are becoming more and more of I don't agree, or I just don't see a reason why without actually giving your defeater. It's like it's just getting like really circular, and it doesn't like there's
I
no
don't
point.
know where the circularity is coming from, but
I'm saying that like it's not. I'm saying circularity just within the point, not necessarily your own argument. But well, it is. It has
yeah,
just been you repeating. I just don't see this, or I just don't agree with this,
right. And
without actually defeating the point.
I don't see how using a different area on the blade is
Yeah, explain why that falls under the definition of different technique, or under a definition of technique, the one that we agreed upon.
no.
And then
Let's
you
say
disagree, and then you just repeat. I don't really see
no,
why
no,
this fits
no,
that, or I don't really see why this is
no,
that. So we're just not going anywhere.
this is something else. It can be a different area on the blade. Let's say it is a different technique. Like there's different ways of blocking an attack, right? Or
Okay,
of just blocking it. There's ways to block it and then counterattack. You kind of slide their sword away.
I think
In
this is his way of blocking it. He blocks it differently.
it can be different. Like let's assume it is here, right? How is that a differentiation in skill? Like,
He
but
uses
I'm
his blade differently. He uses different technique.
but it being different doesn't mean it's more skillful.
I'm saying that would be what's coming from Kisame's statement. I'm not
How
the
do you
one. You're
know?
not the one gauging whether or not Suigetsu is more skilled than Zabuza.
That's the statement that's made. That's what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying.
saying that this. So Kisame is the one saying it's skillful. I don't have to qualify. I don't have to give a reason why it is more skilled than Zabuza.
But
Kisame makes a statement when Suigetsu shows a different technique from Zabuza and states that he's more skilled. I don't have to explain why he thinks he's more skillful.
let's determine whether or not it's even different in the first place, and then I want to just continue to attack just a little bit further on how.
I
This
don't
isn't
even think we
skill.
have to go through. I'm saying it's another interpretation of what Suigetsu or what Kisame is stating
I
here.
don't think it's logical, is what I'm trying to get at.
Why?
So, like I said, I don't think him using just a different area, like in the middle, is some sort of skill thing. Like, oh wow, you blocked
It
my
fall
attack.
okay. Again, this repeating and not countering the claim I'm giving you that it falls under the definition of skill or technique that can
No,
do
that's
some
not what
technique
I'm
that's
calling
given.
it. Him using
Huh?
a different area, that can
Yeah,
be a
him using the sword differently.
that doesn't make it more skillful.
Yeah,
That's
him
what
blocking with a different area. Yes, that is him swing. That is him utilizing the sword differently.
oh, hold on. I don't think if there's any sort of observable like skill differentiation in
You
the way
that's not for you to claim. To Kisame makes a statement directly following that he's using it differently. It states that you're more proficient than Zabuza.
but we don't know if it's different. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying that's just equal interpretation. You have no more evidence for your side that
Hold
he's
on.
faster and stronger, or that he's referencing him being faster and stronger than him using
I
this
don't even
different form of the blade.
hold on, the pianist. I don't even think this is. I think that can be true alongside what I'm saying. Like that can just be one of the things which would um,
So
make him.
I'm saying that there's nothing that goes to the idea that he's referencing speed and strength at all.
No, so it's just that the manner of blocking. If you want to say like this area, right?
The exact same thing that we've already you've made this claim already. And I've responded to it again. That's why I said the point's going circular because you make the same claim. I respond to it. Then your response is, "I just don't feel like it." Then you repeat your claim again.
I don't think you responded to this bit. I
Okay.
think that
What's the new part?
like it's just a manner of blocking.
Okay,
Like
differently from the way Zabuza does it.
area in which he blocks, as in like this can just be what's referenced rather than just speed and strength necessary to block. Um, I don't think that defeats what I'm saying. That can just be one of the things Kisame mentions. Like it's not in refutation to what I'm saying.
If you're to have what you said, I don't know. I don't think it sounded like anything new.
Huh?
You did the start of the point was literally just to say that this is just another way of blocking. You're acknowledging that it's not the exact same way of blocking. Falls under technique, so you'd be using a different technique, which is what Kisame can be referencing when he makes this statement.
That can just be one
So
of the
then,
things.
ignoring all of this, when you're saying they're not mutually exclusive, I'll just ask what gives any credence to the idea that it is speed and strength at all. So I showed this who he does do a different technique or a
You
different
didn't
form
show
of
this.
using the sword
You did not.
than Zabuza.
No,
Go
don't
ahead.
rat it in. No, you didn't. We
What?
haven't even gone there yet.
What? You want to the point of him using the sword differently?
Yeah, so
I
you
said we
just
can go through that if you want.
he does it differently. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did say that we can go through that if you want. And I asked you to go we never went through it.
Just said you said that you've shown it's different. You didn't do
Well,
that.
okay, I've explained why it is different. I've explained that it is different.
Why it's different. You said why it can be different, and this can just be what's referenced. That's not what you just said a second ago. You said you
Okay, I'm correcting it. I'm saying, oh my god. Oh, again, not wasting time arguing about nonsense. I'll correct it. I explained that it is different. I have said that it is different. This point is taking too long. It's getting annoying.
well, if you think that we've
There's
just
no rate. There, you don't. We just have equal interpretations on the claim.
I,
There's nothing supporting that it is speed and strength. We just have this claim. You're saying that this is what you're getting from it.
let's conclude it with this, pianist. Um, you think you gave an equal interpretation. I disagree and think your thing isn't mutually exclusive to what I'm saying, and it can just refer to.
I fell back on that. I'm saying even if I don't give mine, there's no evidence that it is referencing that at all.
Okay, you can think that.
Okay.
So from there, I would just say, well, actually, are you
And this
fine
is
with?
even this is just under the hypothetical that I dropped the part 1 point from before because I don't agree with what you're saying for it. I don't think I should have to drop it because your
No, I'm not
argument doesn't
asking you to
include it.
drop. I'm not
Huh?
asking you to drop anything. I was gonna say, I was gonna get into the scale that I was gonna go with to say Zabuza is just way faster from this, but like you keep mentioning time, like it's a waste of time and it's an excessive amount of time. If you're fine with just leaving this in the previous point, um, just to determine everything else rather than me introducing something else. Like let's say I do get this across or the previous point gets across, then whatever scaling I
Then we could agree that this is just contradicted by.
huh? What'd you say? Hello?
Hold on. You can continue.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, in the event that this point or the prior point gets across, then whatever scaling I would have presented after this, to say Zabuza is way faster than Asuma, it doesn't need to be presented if I win either this point or the prior point.
I think, sure, if you want to say that, but just saying, acknowledge the fact that I'm not dropping a part one contradiction.
No, 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 I'm not saying no. I'm not saying you're dropping anything. I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying in the event that I win either of these points, um, whatever scaling I'd give after this, um, I don't need to. Are you fine with that?
Sure, that's what you want.
It's already been like 2 hours combined, like with these debates, and I don't like to do this for very long, especially on topics I don't really like to do. Like I really, this isn't a topic that I would have preferred to do, but you chose it, and it's fine. So it's a debate anyway. So do you have any concluding shit you want to say, or because I don't feel the need to?
It's just
If there's anything you want to say, or
Asuma. Yeah, I'll just like repeat my scaling for the end. Just I didn't really go over it much. It's just Asuma to Kakashi. Kakashi like beat up Zabuza. That's really it. Asuma would have the time to react to any of Zabuza's attacks. You just like punch him in his face and kill him or whatever. We didn't really go over AP, so I think it's just fine saying they can land a hit, they win the fight.
yeah, I think whatever blades they'd have would do something. I don't think characters like outside of Sage Mode characters or whatever have invulnerable. I don't. I'm not even gonna try and say the word. Just they can get stabbed. Like yeah, that's fine. Um, I think for me, um, my scaling, my stance acknowledges whatever contradictory shit would happen in part one and just doesn't care. Um, I've kind of mentioned that a few times. So while he may have some contradictory shit in part one for my scale, I don't. I just don't care. The way in which he would win this point is if he somehow dismantled whatever speed scale I derived with Suigetsu and Kisame. I don't think he did that. He tried to just say it's just a different technique, which wasn't demonstrated. And even if he did do that, it can just be one of the things Kisame is using to say that he may be better than Zabuza, which he retracts later, which I would derive a speed scale for to Kisame, to Asuma, and he can block his attacks as well and cut his shoulders. So there's an AP there, I guess. So, I mean, that's really all that needs to be said. We had some shit about the hidden miss jutsu, whether or not they can see through it. Um, I don't really care, really. Like, I don't feel like going back onto that. So, like, just in the event that they have a Kenjutsu exchange, I think Zabuza would win just through superior speed. I mean, that's it. So,
Okay, whoever's listening can judge or send a request. So I don't